Hey guys, Jack here. First of all, I want to apologise for the lack of any kind of like video updates or anything to do with my channel. I've been really busy so far this year, what with New Year's, my birthday shortly after New Year's, work. I've been a bit ill, still am a little bit ill, but I will say definitely the Eyes of Heaven subtitled translated videos that I do, yes, they're all coming out way before the Western version hits your shores, so don't worry about that. Not only that, but I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. We'll talk about it in next week's, because I'm going to put one out next week, update video. But for now, let's enjoy the latest chapter, chapter 50 of JoJolion, which came out today in jump. And this was an awesome chapter. It's very difficult to say, but I'll talk about it later about the impressions. This also came with a mini little book here, special postcard book, and it has a lot of really awesome cards in here. But of course, my favourite one has to be the JoJo one, because number one, yeah, I'm not going to be biased when it comes to JoJo, of course, and I love it. The rest are pretty damn cool though, but I might put the JoJo one in a little file with all the rest of the postcards I have. But anyway, let's get into it. I've got a few pages that I really want to show you, and the rest I'm just going to be talking about it. So first of all, we start off with a kind of young-looking, kind of sexy, kind of like Yasuho, but not really Yasuho, sexy kind of woman, and she's going through a bag, and we just see this piece of paper, and it says divorce papers, and in the background we see like this little kid with black hair just playing near the water, and she's like, "Don't go near the water, you'll drown, or you'll get swept by the current, blah blah blah." Next, we have these two guys that walk up to her, and they're both like, "Hey there, so we're having a party over there, so if you want to come, feel free to." And she's like, "Oh, a party? Oh, maybe." And then you see the other guy go, hey, no. Look, she's got a kid. And they're like, "Oh, yeah, maybe next time." And they head off. She's just like, "Oh, no." And then you see her turn to the water. She's like, "Get away from that, Josefumi." We're like, "Oh, okay. The kid's Josefumi, okay. But is this babysitter, mother?" Considering it's got the divorce papers there, we'll say the mother. Looking very young, like I said, very Yasuho, so that's probably kind of a connection there with Yasuho, considering she does look relatively young. In fact, I didn't want to go too crazy into this, but I do want to show you, so you could be like, okay, yeah, she does look similar to Yasuho. And that is this girl right here. Boo, said my phone. So we got all this, you know, the guy's going up to her and stuff like that, and if we go over here, you know, she's got this kind of like Yasuho look to her, so I can kind of see where, basically there might be some kind of relationship thing there. It doesn't talk about it, we don't know her name, all we know is that she is possibly the mother and she's getting divorced, and she's kind of like, you know, she doesn't seem like a great mum either. She's not very, like, super caring. She's like, you know, very babysitter-ish, you know. Not like, "I'm a baby," kind of deal. Anyway, well, Josefumi gets a little bit close to the water. She turns around and you see him being brought down by the current. Kind of a little bit weird though, something like the water going over him, but it looks very weird. Anyway, he's getting dragged down. She's like, "Josefumi, I told you, you're not supposed to get too close to Josefumi." She grabs the lifesaver, and she's holding onto it, and she's looking into the water, and she's just like, "Joseph." She's not doing anything, she's just shaking, holding this lifesaver, and it's just, whoa, what the hell's going on? Is this supposed to be her mum? She's scared. Why is she scared? Something about the water, or what's going on? It's a bit weird. Next thing we see him being taken away, of course, on a stretcher, being taken into the hospital, and what we see is right here, we see a young Holly Joestar. Dun, dun, dun. So we've got Holly Joestar there, and of course what she's doing is she's very calm. She's like, "Oh, it seems like he's not technically drowned. It seems he's also got some blunt force trauma to the back of the head. So it looks like he's got a blood clot that's forming, and if we can't get rid of it, he's going to die." So she turns to her son. That's right. She turns to Kiryoshikage, who is just sitting there with little Nijimura right there, and she's like, "Hey, could you do me a favour and get rid of this kid's blood clot?" And you're like, "What? What could he do? Could he go, bam, just blow the kid's head off? Oh shit, sorry mum." But basically she's like, "Could you do it for me?" He's moaning, but I'm in 3 hours, I'm about to go and see Titanic. I've already sorted it out, I'm supposed to be going with somebody. And she's like, "Please," kind of thing. And he's like, "Alright." And we get to see an awesome double spread page. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Killer Queen. Killer Queen comes out, and we see Killer Queen summon sheer heart attack. So we get a sheer heart attack, right? But it's very weird. Not just, look, 2 sheer heart attacks. 2. Nope. Oh, sorry. Look at that. So we get these sheer heart attacks, and you're probably thinking, like, what the hell are they doing? Where are they? Have they gone into a ventilation system? What's going on? They're in Josefumi's brain, digging through the blood clot. So they dig through the blood clot, and you just see Josefumi go, and like throw up blood, and it's like, oh, he's fine. He's safe, thank God for that. And so Josefumi gets to live another day. It would be kind of weird, though, if they were just like, oh, he's dead. He's a ghost! There we go. JoJolion ended, he's a ghost. Yours truly. No, I'm joking. But anyway, yeah, that basically happens to him, and then we go on to something new. So, of course, Holly turns to him, she's like, oh, good boy, little Josefumi, little cute Josefumi, mwah, you're so adorable, you're gonna be okay, alright, sweetheart, you're gonna be okay. Then we just see Kuryoshikage like, alright, I'm gonna go off now, I've got to see Titanic. Then he walks into the lobby, and it's just him, and he goes, guess I'm going alone. Then we run into something really interesting, because we see, again, even though he's dead, we get to see a lot of him, because it's a lot of build-up and it's very cool. We get to see Aisho again. Now, Aisho is actually, he's got the Lokakaka fruit, he's got a little tree, and he's sitting there with this new guy. And you're like, who's this guy? And his name is Yucky D. Yucky D is a pro baseball pitcher. And it turns out that he's on the accident list because he blew out his right shoulder. And he is buying the Lokakaka fruit to heal his arm. And Aisho says, remember, it's equivalent exchange. So, even if you eat this, and you get, like, you get your arm back perfect, like, you're going to be the best baseball pitcher of all time. It's going to be healed, it's going to be great. They're going to be taking something away from you. So he's like, kind of like, should I pay for it? He pays, and it seems to be a lot of money. It's like around, it's a lot of money. I'm really crap with numbers, but it's a lot of money. And yeah, so he pays it and he gets it and he's like, and he starts gobbling it down. Behind we actually see this kind of like a fiber camera coming out of a vent watching, and it's actually Kuryoshikage on his phone watching. Like he's checking it out. He's like, oh, it's this guy called Iwakiri, and he's a famous baseball player. He's known as he's got the best shoulder in the game, because of course he's a pitcher, and he can now eat it, and it's healed him. Shows the baseball game, and he's 1, 2, 3. He's taking people down. He's like, strike. Oh, he's out. There we go. 3 strikes. Next person, and he's doing great. He's doing epic. If you want to see him as well, he does look like this, so it's really funny. Just the hair and like his little chin guard kind of thing. Does look cool, but then again they all do. So he sells it, and we get to see, of course, we get to see the best picture so far of Josefumi. Alright? Check this out. How powerful Josuke does he look even more, plus how handsome does he look? He looks pretty damn cool. So basically, they're coming up with a plan to get the Lokakaka fruit, but they know that something's up with Aisho, but they need to get it. And Kira seems to be very, we need it. So Josefumi turns to him and says, your mum's dying of a disease, and you can't do anything about it, and you want the Lokakaka fruit so you can heal her. And he's like, because, he's like, oh shit, Josefumi figured it out. And he's like, is there a better way to get it? Because we need to get it, but we need to make sure we're hidden. I think we should steal it. It would be the best. They're like, what? How are we going to steal it? And then we get to see a little bit more about good old Josefumi, okay? And his version of Soft and Wet, or Crazy Diamond, possibly. He grabs the tree. He cuts the tree. He breaks it off with his hand. Then he cuts it into, like a pointed kind of dagger on both the one he's holding and on the branch itself. He puts it together. He holds onto it. Oh, sorry. Soft and wet bubbles. I can't do this, can I? Soft and wet bubbles come out, and when you see, he's healed the tree perfectly like that. Everything on the tree. I can't do this, can I? I'm absolutely terrible. Gah! There we go. So you see him. He's very kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Oh shit! Like that was awesome. That's a really cool skill. I mean, it's not like that because he's really cool. But not only that, But everything seems to be alright, as you can see from the fact that everything's still okay, still living on the tree, and he's actually made it perfect, so it's like back to normal but in a different shape. So he says, all we need is one branch of the Lokakaka tree, and I can use my ability to grow a fruit. So what we need to do is, we need to steal one small branch that previously had one on, or we just need to break one off and take it and then heal it so it has the fruit, and we can get the fruit, we can steal it, but we have to do it without Aisho or whoever he's whoever he's working with, without them knowing. Otherwise, we're going to be in big trouble, and so that is their plan. And not only that, but we get to see what happens to that Yucky D, the baseball player, the one that wanted to get his shoulder back to normal. Well, his teeth start to rot. His teeth end up like that. Not only that, but his lower jaw falls off as he goes. And then, the last page, Josefumi and Kira set out to grab a Lokakaka Tree branch so they can actually heal Holly Joestar. And the thing is, though, it's really cool because the reason that Josefumi's doing it is because he owes his life to Holly Joestar for saving him as a kid. Because, of course, it was Kira Yoshikage that did it, but he wouldn't have given a shit if his mum didn't say, hey, could you do this? And she also looked after him. I mean, there's going to be more about it, but he's like, I'm not doing it for you, I'm doing it for her. Also, another few minor things as well is the fact that Aisho seems to be doing, when he's selling the Lokakaka fruit, he only does it to people who are famously rich. For example, that old guy, that when Yasuho and Tsurugi were chasing him, and he saw the old guy, and he lost his sight and his eyes, and he's like, oh yeah, I love you, oh. Like that, and he gained the ability to walk back. That guy was clearly someone who was well known and rich. Same with this baseball player. So it only seems to be people who can put up that money, and it does a lot of great things. But then eventually, equivalent exchange, it's going to do a lot of bad things. How do I feel about this? My impressions from now. I really like it because the last one, it was like we get to see more of Kira, but then we get to see more of Josefumi, and the fact that everything, well, not just Josefumi and Kira, but we also get to see a lot of Josefumi as in Tamaki. And what's going on, like, is Hato going to believe Josuke, or is she going to go with her boyfriend? And what's he going to do? Is he going to kill them all? What's happened to Joshu? Has Joshu actually done some kind of plan whilst he went down the sink? Has Nonisuke got a plan? Does anybody have a plan? What's happening with Jobin? There's a lot to be answered. Well, there's more to be answered, but at least we're getting some decent questions, like how do Josefumi and Kira Yoshikage know each other? What's up with Holly Joestar? We get to see her when she's young. We also get to see Sheer Heart Attack, which is always good. We get to see Killer Queen again. There's so many things. That was a great chapter, really, and I can't wait for the next one. It seems to be normal, like no kind of next month there's going to be no JoJo. Sorry, my fingers got caught in the page. Yeah, so there's going to be one next month, which is great. I can't wait. I can never wait. We got some other stuff in here as well, which was talking about the Part 4 anime, which is pretty cool, because they show Rohan a little better here. So we can see, there we go, we got stuff that we've already seen on the internet, talks about it and who it is, when it is coming. Who knows exactly in April when it's going to come, but I am very looking forward to every single part of it. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, thank you for tuning in to this. Probably, as I said, I'm going to get an update video on later. I'm going to be making another video after this. I don't know when that will come out, either today or tomorrow, about another thing that I purchased that I think is something that a lot of people would like. Anyway, take care, goodbye, and remember... Just because... Josuke.